All right, welcome to part 3 of Entity Framework V6. If you've not watched the first and second video, I'll implore you to go watch that first before you proceed with this one. So, as usual, my name is Dennis, and we are just going to dive into it straight up. So, what we've done so far is we've created employee database, we've created entity project, and now we're going to create a DB context project to consume the entity project, which is the one we did before. So I'm just going to dive straight into the code. That's the project, and that's the class. So let's just create the new project for the DB context consuming. So same procedure and create. Now, I will change the name of this class to the class that I want to use it for, which is employee DB context. Correct. And now I will go get the NuGet packages for Entity Framework. So I will browse for that by typing Entity Framework right there. There you go, the first one, and install. Nice and simple. So now I've got that. Underneath my reference, you see I've got these two libraries, which is Entity Framework and Entity Framework SQL Server. If you browse into the project generally, you will see that it has generated a package or packages. Underneath the packages, I've got the libraries there, 4.0 and 4.5. Let's go straight, which is that and that. Those are the ones I'm using. So now, in order for us to use the entity framework generally, we need to inherit from the DB context, which is what I'm doing now. Don't forget to get the namespace system data.entity. Right. Now, next step is I should be able to consume or use the DB set, which is literally the main thing that maps to the database and its tables. So I will create a new DB set, and the DB set on this case, I am using the employee class. Don't forget that. In order for me to use the employee class as well, don't forget to add the reference of the employee class project to your DB context class, which I've done. And now I will use the using dj framework.entity. And of course, I'm going to change the name of the property to employees. So that's been done. Now I will create a constructor, and I will map to the base constructor class as well, which is the DB context. Now, what I usually do is I send in the connection string as a dependency injection. So I will do that just now by adding by passing it as a dependency injection into it, which is string type and connection string. So I will pass that over to the base. So without the connection string, Entity Framework will not be able to open a connection to whatever database you are referencing to. So that makes it almost impossible for you to handle. Yes. So that's it. Straightforward. So, but I would want to stress further that you can imagine you connecting to many tables on a single database. So in a broader picture, it might not be just a table. There might be multiples of them, hundreds of them here. So say 300, 400. I've seen some of them run to 300, like insurance companies having multiple tables. Legacy stuff, legacy kind of a thing. So I think in the modern day technology these days, they break them into microservices by having small databases and then connecting them with microservices. But legacy stuffs, you see tables run 300, 400 in one database. But I don't want to talk about that for now. So in that case, you might have many of DB sets being done here, right? So you can use them in the near future. So that's actually it on this part. And I think our next stage is uh, to to call the entity framework based on a repository and then see what it does. See you in my next video.